The question of Solomon. Who was King Solomon? Was he a real king of immense power and wisdom? Did he build a magnificent temple covered in gold in ancient Jerusalem? Or is he a figure crafted from stories, a legend shaped by many hands over many centuries? The question of Solomon is one of the great puzzles of history. It touches the very heart of how we understand the past. The image we hold of him is powerful. It comes from sacred texts read by millions, but when we look closer, the picture becomes less clear. It is a portrait painted in many layers, with each new era adding its own colors and details. To understand Solomon, we must embark on a journey. This journey will take us through different texts and different times. We will start with the famous account in the Bible. This is the foundation for the Solomon everyone thinks they know. Then we must step outside of that text. We will look at the records of neighboring civilizations from the same period. We will listen for his name in the letters of pharaohs and the inscriptions of Mesopotamian kings. The primary source for the story of King Solomon is the Hebrew Bible. The books of 1 Kings 2 Chronicles paint a detailed and dazzling picture. Here, Solomon is the son of King David, chosen by God to lead Israel into a golden age of peace and prosperity. His reign is not defined by war, but by wisdom. The most famous story tells of his judgment between two women claiming the same baby. By threatening to cut the child in two, he reveals the true mother. This story established his reputation for unmatched insight. His wisdom was said to surpass that of all the peoples of the East and all the wisdom of Egypt. According to the biblical narrative, Solomon's wisdom brought him incredible wealth. Kings and queens from distant lands traveled to Jerusalem just to hear him speak and see his riches. The Queen of Sheba is the most famous visitor. She came with a great caravan of camels bearing spices, gold, precious stones. She tested Solomon with hard questions, and he answered them all. The Bible states she was breathless at the sight of his palace, the food on his table, and the splendor of his court. His kingdom was described as a commercial superpower, with fleets of ships sailing to faraway lands to bring back gold. The biblical account of Solomon's empire is magnificent. It describes a powerful state, a wealthy court, massive building projects. Such a kingdom should leave a significant footprint in the historical and archaeological record. Great empires conduct diplomacy, engage in trade, fight wars. These activities are often recorded in their own texts and in the records of their neighbors and rivals. When we look for mentions of King Solomon in contemporary records, Egypt, Assyria, Babylonia, we find a curious silence. His name does not appear in any known inscription from that time. This lack of external corroboration is puzzling. The Bible speaks of Solomon's marriage to an Egyptian pharaoh's daughter, a major political alliance. Yet Egyptian records from that period do not mention this marriage or a powerful Israelite king. The Bible also describes a vast trading network. Centuries after the biblical texts were compiled, the story of Solomon began a new chapter. During the Hellenistic period, Greek culture spread across the Near East. This era of cultural mixing profoundly influenced Jewish thought, especially in the diaspora communities outside of Judea. In this new intellectual climate, Solomon the wise king started to transform. He became more than a ruler famous for his judgments. He evolved into a master of esoteric knowledge, a figure who held power over the hidden forces of the universe. He was reimagined as a magician. This transformation is captured in texts from the period not part of the Hebrew Bible. These later writings, often called pseudepigrapha, they were attributed to ancient figures to give them authority. One of the most important is the Testament of Solomon. This Greek text was likely composed between the 1st and 3rd centuries CE. It presents itself as a first-person account by Solomon. In the story, temple construction is hindered by a vampire-like demon named Ornias. Ornias steals the pay of the young workers. Ornias drains their vitality. Solomon's simple prayers for help are answered in a new and dramatic way. The Archangel Michael gives Solomon a magical ring. The ring is engraved with the seal of God, a pentagram. The figure of Solomon also holds a place of great honor within Islamic tradition. In the Quran and subsequent Islamic literature, he is known as Sulayman. He is not just a king, he is revered as a major prophet, a messenger of God, endowed with special wisdom and extraordinary abilities. Like his father, Dawood, Sulayman is presented as a righteous ruler who governed according to divine law. The Qur'anic accounts draw upon some biblical themes but add unique details and emphasize different aspects of his character. His story serves as a powerful lesson in faith, humility, the proper use of God-given power. One of the most distinctive features of Sulayman in the Islamic tradition is his miraculous ability to communicate with animals and other creatures. The Quran tells the famous story of Sulayman and his army marching through a valley of ants. He overhears the queen ant telling her subjects to retreat into their homes so they are not crushed. Hearing this, Sulayman smiles, amused and thankful to God for this gift. In another story, he interacts with a hoopoe bird, which acts as his messenger. The bird informs him of the distant queen of Sheba, Bilqis, and her people who worship the sun instead of God. Sulayman's power in Islamic lore extends beyond the animal kingdom. He is also granted dominion over the wind, and the jinn, powerful beings of smokeless fire. The wind served as his transport, carrying his throne and his armies vast distances in a short time. The jinn were his supernatural workforce. They were compelled to work for him, diving into the sea for pearls, constructing buildings. As the Roman Empire faded, Europe entered the Middle Ages, the legend of Solomon continued to evolve. While the Church emphasized the biblical king, another, shadowy Solomon, thrived. Hellenistic tales of Solomon, the magician, medieval folklore, esoteric traditions turned him into an arch-magician. He became a keeper of dangerous, hidden secrets. Solomon's name meant pursuit of hidden knowledge, alchemy, astrology, summoning spirits. No longer just a king, he became an archetype of wisdom and power over the unseen. Grimoires claiming Solomon's authorship circulated widely. The Key of Solomon, Clavicula Salomonis, appears in many late medieval and Renaissance manuscripts. It claims to be Solomon's instruction manual left to his son Rehoboam. It instructs on complex magical operations, drawing protective circles. The journey through the many lives of King Solomon reveals a fascinating process. We begin with a biblical monarch of a glorious golden age, and end with a master magician, a revered prophet, and a mystical symbol. The man, if he existed as described, is buried beneath a mountain of legends. This shifting image matters today because it teaches us a crucial lesson about how history and memory work. History is not a static set of facts that we simply uncover. It is an act of storytelling, and stories are retold and reshaped by each new generation, values, fears, aspirations. The contrast between the biblical text and the archaeological record highlights the tension between faith and scientific inquiry. For many, the biblical Solomon is a historical reality, a cornerstone of their religious heritage. The lack of definitive archaeological proof does not diminish their faith. For scholars, however, this gap demands explanation. It prompts a critical examination of when, why, and by whom the biblical texts were written. The debate between minimalists and maximalists, how we weigh different kinds of evidence, reconstructing the past. It forces us to be more precise about what we can truly know. Furthermore, the evolution of Solomon's legend demonstrates the incredible fluidity of culture. His story is a powerful example of syncretism, Jewish, Greek, Persian, Islamic, European. The wise king of Jerusalem absorbs the characteristics of a Hellenistic magician, an Islamic prophet, and a medieval alchemist. He becomes a shared figure, a meeting point for diverse traditions. Cultures are not isolated entities. They are constantly borrowing, adapting, and reinterpreting each other's symbols and stories.